Alright, I get this question all the time. How do I keep my bike so clean? And I'm sure a lot of you probably wonder, do I actually even ride my bikes? I definitely do. So before we get to cleaning, let's take a look how I got the 125 so filthy. Alright, the very first thing I'll do is spray down the dirtier parts of the bike with this Maxima Biowash. That'll help loosen up the dirt when it comes time to pressure wash it. So while I've got that Biowash soaking in and working its magic, I'm going to pull off the seat and air filter. I would definitely recommend pulling off your air filter if you're going to be pressure washing your bike or even just hosing it down. Leaving it on is just asking for water to enter your intake. So this is what I use to seal up the intake. Just an airbox wash cover, bolts on just like an air filter would. And of course, can't forget the butt plug. And now it's onto the pressure washer. I'll just be using this cheap little Ryobi electric pressure washer. It's a pretty light duty one, only 1600 psi, so it's not really going to tear up the bike. And by the way, I'll put the links to where you can buy everything used throughout the video down in the description. That includes a pressure washer, wash cap, all the chemicals, and anything else you see. So I'll do the first stage of washing with the bike laying on its side. If you think about it, when you're riding, all the dirt is coming up from the bottom side. So it only makes sense to lean the bike over, that we have a good angle at knocking all that mud off. I've always laid the bike over with the lower triple clamp resting on a stand. You can do triple clamp or end of handlebar, it doesn't really matter. I've always just used a triple clamp so that way it doesn't put stress on the bar mounts. And of course, if you have a carbureted bike, make sure you turn that fuel valve off. So as you can see, when you lean the bike over, you have so much more access to all this mud on the bottom side of the bike. That really is the key to getting your bike as clean as possible. So honestly, it really isn't too complicated. I'll start at the dirtiest parts of the bike, which includes the inside of the fenders, the skid plate, and the linkage area is usually pretty nasty as well. And the areas you want to be careful around when you're pressure washing are the radiators, any type of bearing such as the swing arm pivot bearings, linkage bearings, wheel bearings, and of course the steering head bearings as well. And by being careful, I mean not getting too close to those bearings or seals. A good distance to stay away is about 12 to 16 inches, depending on your pressure washer. Alright, I'm gonna shut up and get to cleaning already. As I'm washing the bike, I'll keep an eye out for missing bolts and worn out parts like sprockets, bearings, that kind of thing. And then a couple times a year, I'll pull all the plastics and the skid plate off the bike and just do a thorough wash. Alright, this side of the bike is done. I'm going to flip it over to the other side. I've pretty much got the bike as clean as I can get it at this point, and any areas where the dirt is sticking and not really wanting to come off, I'll spray it down with BioWash. One area that always needs a deep cleaning is the airbox, so I'll hose it down super good with the BioWash, and that'll break down all the filter oil and dirt. After really muddy riding days, what I'll do is I'll pull up the shock bumper and clean underneath it, and then slide down the fork dust seals as well. If you get dirt trapped inside the seals, it'll scratch the tubes and eventually wear out the oil seals too. Alright, I gave the bike another pressure wash after that second coat of BioWash, and it's looking really good. So now I'm going to spray down the chain with this Maxima cleanup. With the cleanup, I'll be spraying it on both the inside and outside the chain. For the inside, I'll spray it in down here at the chain guide. While that chain cleaner is soaking in, I'm going to clean up all these nasty boot markings on the frame and engine covers. So first I'm going to spray it down with the Maxima BioWash, and then get scrubbing with the Scotch-Brite pad. If you have white plastics and you want to get rid of the black markings left from boots, you can use the BioWash and the Scotch-Brite here too. But of course, it's going to leave the plastics with a really flat finish. Alright, back to the chain. So believe it or not, it is safe to pressure wash the chain. That's the only method I've ever used for cleaning a chain, and I haven't had one single issue with it. For this particular chain, it is a DID X-Ring, and I've had it on this bike and my previous bike as well. Probably well over 100 hours on it, and it's been holding up incredible. And all I've ever done for cleaning is spray it down with the Maxima cleanup and pressure wash it. So don't believe the naysayers. If you're careful with pressure washing a chain, you should have no issues at all. So I'd recommend staying about 10 to 12 inches away from the chain just to be careful. And then immediately after pressure washing, I'll spray down the inside of the chain with Maxima MPPL. This will prevent the chain from rusting. And then after a few minutes, I'll spray down the chain with Maxima Chain Guard. Now at this point, the bike is all cleaned and lubed up. Just going to wipe down the plastics and frame so they don't water spot. So the drying towel I use is called a Cobra Guzzler, I'm pretty sure. I'll link it down in the description. Works really well. Now if you have a raw pipe like I do on this bike, you'll have to coat it with something after each wash to prevent it from rusting. So what I use is the Maxima MPPL. I'll just spray it on and then wipe it around with a rag. So I've got the bike looking pretty prime at this point, and I want you guys to be able to do the same thing with your own bikes too. So I'm going to give away one of these Scotch-Brite pads. To have a shot at it, all you have to do is comment down below in the comments, prime. And I'm going to go through and pick one of your comments at random and send this Scotch-Brite pad over to you. These are available over on primemx.com, by the way. One thing I didn't mention before, but it's pretty obvious. You want to wash your bike as soon as you're done riding if possible, or at least even just hose it off. This time around, I waited 4 days to wash my bike, and the dirt didn't really come off too easy. So it usually takes me about 30 to 45 minutes to do the complete bike wash. Now to clean up the seat, I'll spray it down with Maxima BioWash, scrub it around with a brush, and if there's any black markings that won't come out, I'll use the Scotch-Brite pad on it. Now it is time for a fresh air filter. The brand I prefer is Pro Filter. And on top of that, I'll be using a filter skin. This just goes right on top of the filter and adds a second layer of protection. So I'll be making a separate video on cleaning and re-oiling a filter later on. So I'm gonna carefully pop this wash cap off and wipe down the rim. Make sure there's no remaining dirt left on the airbox. I'll put the finishing touches on the bike with some SC1. If you guys have not tried this product yet, you are missing out. Stuff is absolutely magic. So I'll spray it on the bike with the seat off. Not a good idea to get it on the seat, that's for sure. What I really like about the SC1 is it leaves a glossy finish without being greasy or slimy at all. And it works super good underneath the fenders for keeping all that mud off. And when it comes time to wash it again, that mud just falls right off. To be completely honest with you guys, I've been using Maxima products for 5+ years now, and with or without their support, that's all I'd ever use. Best stuff in the game, I would definitely recommend them. So the very last thing I'll do is start up the bike to burn off any water that may be on the exhaust or electronics. And of course, I just want to hear this thing sing for a bit. Really hope you guys picked up a thing or two from the video. If you have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to leave them down below in the comment section. And don't forget to enter that giveaway as well. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.